Hey there, curious minds. You ever pause and think about the vast, unseen world buzzing right around us?
Mm.
One you can't perceive with your bare eyes,
Mm.
but that plays a monumental, often surprising role in everything from the food on your plate to how your very own body fights off a cold. It's truly a universe in miniature.
It's remarkable, isn't it? So much of life, so many foundational processes occur at a scale that's, well, invisible to us, yet their impact is absolutely monumental.
It really is. I'm Adam,
And I'm Grace.
and we're your grade 8 science teachers here at School on X.
That's us.
Today, we're embarking on a fascinating deep dive specifically into Chapter 2 of our Grade 8 science curriculum, microorganisms.
Yep.
Our mission is to take you beyond the textbook definitions and truly immerse you in the incredible, often counterintuitive world of these tiny powerhouses.
That's precisely what we're aiming for. We've compiled a stack of amazing insights from your source material, and our goal is to help you understand their incredible dual impact, both good and, well, sometimes bad on our lives and the world around us.
Right.
Think of this as a supercharged exploration that's going to make you feel like a genuine microbe expert by the end, equipped with a deeper understanding than you might have thought possible for something so small.
And to give you a roadmap for our journey today, we're going to explore what these microbes actually are, where they hang out across our planet, and then dive deep into the fascinating duality of their existence.
Mhm.
We'll uncover how they can be our incredible friends, helping us in countless ways you might never have guessed, and also sometimes our formidable foes, causing diseases and spoiling our food.
Get ready.
Get ready to discover some truly eye-opening connections and surprising aha moments about the world living all around and even inside you. All right, let's kick things off by defining our terms. What exactly are these microorganisms or microbes we're talking about?
Good starting point.
You might have seen hints of them without even realizing it, like those grayish-white fuzzy patches that sometimes appear on moist bread, especially during the rainy season.
Yeah, that bread mold.
That, believe it or not, is a visible sign of microorganisms at work.
You've hit on a perfect starting point there. These are living organisms so incredibly small, so minuscule that you generally cannot see them with your unaided eye.
It's just too small.
Exactly. While certain types, like some of the fungi we see on bread or mushrooms, might become visible when they grow into larger colonies, or maybe with a simple magnifying glass,
Maybe.
the vast majority of microbes absolutely require the powerful magnification of a microscope to truly observe them.
Ah, okay.
That's precisely why we call them microorganisms. The micro prefix literally signifies tiny or small, giving you a direct clue about their scale. They are truly the hidden architects of our world.
And it's not just on bread or surfaces, right? Our source material highlights a classic classroom activity that perfectly illustrates their omnipresence.
Oh yeah, the pond water one.
Exactly. Imagine collecting just a few drops of pond water or even a pinch of moist soil and carefully placing it under a microscope. What do you think you'd actually observe in that tiny sample?
That's a fantastic thought experiment because what you'd see is far from just plain water. You'd likely witness a bustling, vibrant, and surprisingly active world of tiny organisms zipping, wiggling, and moving around.
Wow.
It's like a miniature ecosystem in constant motion. This simple observation, whether it's from pond water or that pinch of moist soil, really drives home the point that water and soil are absolutely teeming with these microscopic inhabitants.
Teeming.
Now, while not every single microscopic entity you see might be classified as a microbe in the strictest sense, it powerfully demonstrates just how prevalent and active microscopic life is, literally beneath our feet and in every puddle.
So we've established they're incredibly tiny and they're truly everywhere. But are all these microscopic creatures the same? I mean, are they all just blobs?
No, definitely not. Our sources are very clear.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely not. Microorganisms are actually incredibly diverse.
Okay.
They're categorized into 4 major groups, plus a very special, distinct one that truly stands apart from the rest.
4 plus 1.
Got it. That's an important distinction because while they're all microscopic, their biology and behavior can be vastly different. The main groups our source identifies are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and certain types of algae.
Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae.
Yep. And our source even provides vivid images to help us visualize this incredible diversity. For instance, among bacteria, you'll find elegant spiral shapes, robust rod-like structures, or perfect spheres,
Cool shapes.
each with unique characteristics and vital roles. Then there are the protozoa, which are single-celled animals, like the famous blob-like amoeba, constantly changing its shape as it moves and engulfs food.
I remember amoeba.
Right. Or the slipper-shaped paramecium propelling itself through water with thousands of tiny hair-like structures called cilia.
Like little oars.
Exactly.
Hmm.
From the algae, you might encounter the beautiful filamentous Spirogyra, which often forms those emerald green mats in ponds.
I've seen that.
Or the single-celled flagellated Chlamydomonas. And of course, common fungi that you've probably seen, like the fuzzy bread mold you mentioned earlier. Or the microscopic structures of Penicillium and Aspergillus, which, as we'll soon discover, have surprising and profoundly important uses beyond just growing on food.
Okay, Penicillium aspergillus. Sounds important. And then, as you alluded to, there's the special case of viruses. They're also microscopic, smaller even than most bacteria. But our source makes a very clear distinction. They are fundamentally different from all other microorganisms.
Totally different category, really.
So what exactly makes a virus stand so uniquely apart? What's their defining characteristic?
That's a crucial question, because understanding viruses requires a shift in how we think about life.
Yeah.
What's truly defining and, frankly, a bit perplexing about viruses is that they cannot, under any circumstances, reproduce or multiply on their own.
They can't by themselves.
Nope. They are obligate intracellular parasites, meaning they can only replicate inside the living cells of a host organism.
Inside a cell.
They literally need to hijack a host cell's machinery to create more copies of themselves. This host could be a bacterium, a plant cell, or an animal cell, including your own cells.
Wow. Okay, so they're like biological pirates.
Kind of. This fundamental dependency is why common ailments we all experience, like the common cold, influenza, which we colloquially call the flu, and most coughs, are caused by viruses.
Right, the flu virus.
And as you know, more serious and historically devastating diseases like polio and chickenpox are also viral in origin. This inability to multiply independently, this reliance on a host, is the single most important characteristic that sets them apart from all other microorganisms we've discussed.
Okay, so they're incredibly small, astonishingly diverse, and some, like viruses, are really particular about their living arrangements, needing a host. This begs the question, where do all these microbes actually live? They can't just be confined to pond water and moldy bread, can they?
Oh, definitely not.
What's their range?
Their range is quite simply global and extreme. Our source powerfully emphasizes that microorganisms thrive in all types of environments found on Earth.
All types, seriously.
And when we say all types, we truly mean it. We're talking about the most extreme conditions imaginable, from the vast frozen landscapes of ice-cold polar regions where temperatures plummet far below freezing and life seems impossible,
Wow.
to the scorching hot springs like those in Yellowstone, where water temperatures are near boiling point and filled with minerals.
Boiling. How?
Incredible adaptations. You'll find them in the driest, most arid deserts where water is scarce, and in the wettest, most marshy lands brimming with moisture.
Deserts and marshes.
But perhaps most intimately, they're even found inside the bodies of animals, including us humans in our digestive systems, on our skin, within our mouths.
Inside us, right now.
Absolutely. Trillions of them. Some are parasites, meaning they derive nutrients by living on or in other organisms, often at the host's expense, causing illness.
The foci.
Exactly. Others, however, live freely in the environment, just doing their thing, playing crucial roles in various ecological cycles. There is almost no corner of our planet, no niche, where you won't find some form of microbial life adapting and thriving.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. They're everywhere. It's so easy for us when we hear the word germs to immediately think of something bad, something that makes us sick.
That's the common reaction, yeah?
And we just heard about some of the serious diseases viruses and other pathogens can cause. But the truth is, the vast majority of microorganisms are not bad. In fact, many are absolutely vital for life on Earth as we know it.
Absolutely vital. Can't live without them.
They play incredibly important, beneficial roles in our daily lives, often without us even realizing it. So let's completely flip the script now and talk about our friendly microorganisms.
Yes. Let's talk about the good guys. That's an essential shift in perspective. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you'll see that from the food we eat every day, to the health and vitality of our environment, to the very medicines that save lives, Microbes are constantly working behind the scenes in incredibly beneficial ways.
Unsung heroes.
Totally. They are indispensable for preparing a vast array of foods, for the commercial production of alcohol, for the vital task of cleaning up our planet, for manufacturing life-saving medicines, and even for enriching the soil that nourishes the plants we rely on for food.
Wow, that's a lot of jobs.
It is truly astonishing once you start looking how profoundly and how much we rely on these microscopic organisms for so many aspects of our modern lives and for maintaining the planet's delicate ecological balance.
Let's start right in the kitchen then. That feels familiar. A place where these tiny helpers are incredibly active. Have you ever wondered how plain liquid milk transforms into the thick, tangy curd we enjoy? Or how a simple mixture of flour and water magically turns into light, fluffy bread? It's all thanks to tiny microbial helpers at work.
Indeed. Our source material offers a fantastic illustration of this. It reminds us about lactobacillus,
Lactobacillus. Oh,
which isn't just any bacterium. It's a specific type of bacterium that is incredibly efficient at promoting curd formation. When you add a bit of curd to warm milk, these lactobacillus bacteria, which are already present in the starter curd, rapidly multiply.
adding seeds.
Kinda, yeah. They then convert the lactose, the natural sugar found in milk, into lactic acid.
Ah, acid.
It's this lactic acid that causes the milk proteins to coagulate, changing the milk's texture from liquid to the thick, creamy consistency of curd.
That's how it gets thick.
Exactly. This precise bacterial action isn't just for making curds, it's also a fundamental process in the production of cheese, for creating the tangy flavor in pickles, and even for fermenting the batters used in popular Indian dishes like rava idlis and dosa batter,
Oh, I love doses.
giving them their characteristic texture and flavor. This bacterium is truly a tireless workhorse in the culinary world.
Okay, lactobacillus, culinary workhorse. Got it. And for bread, our source describes a great activity that perfectly demonstrates the process. Taking flour, sugar, and warm water, then adding just a small amount of yeast powder and kneading it all into a dough.
The classic dough experiment.
What exactly happens next that makes the dough rise so dramatically?
What's truly fascinating here is the power of a single-celled fungus, yeast.
Yeast is a fungus.
Yep. After just a couple of hours, if you were to observe that dough, you'd notice it visibly swelling and rising, almost magically.
Oof.
This isn't magic, however, it's pure microbiology. Yeast reproduces incredibly rapidly, and as it metabolizes the sugar you added, it performs a process called respiration.
Breathing, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. Crucially, during this respiration, yeast produces carbon dioxide gas as a byproduct.
Gas, like soda bubbles.
Exactly like that. These tiny carbon dioxide gas bubbles get trapped within the elastic network of the dough, filling it up and causing the entire dough to expand dramatically and increase significantly in volume.
So that's what makes it fluffy.
Precisely. This fundamental biochemical process, driven by yeast, is precisely why it is absolutely essential to the baking industry for making light, airy breads, fluffy pastries, and delicious soft cakes. It's truly amazing how a microscopic living organism can transform simple, dense ingredients into something with such a radically different texture and taste, all thanks to those invisible gas bubbles working their way through the dough.
That is amazing. Okay, beyond the humble kitchen, microbes are incredible industrial powerhouses.
Oh yeah, big time.
They're absolutely essential for the large-scale production of things like alcohol, wine, and even acetic acid, which we commonly know as vinegar. How do they scale up that fermentation process?
Well, on a commercial scale, particularly for alcohol and wine production, yeast is indeed the undisputed star player.
Yeast again, busy guy.
It's cultivated and grown in massive quantities on natural sugars, which are derived from a variety of raw materials. This could be sugars found in grains like barley, wheat, or rice, or the natural sugars present in crushed fruit juices, such as grapes for wine.
Okay, lots of sugar sources.
The entire process of converting these sugars into alcohol is known as fermentation.
Fermentation, heard that word.
And it's fascinating to remember that the scientific understanding of this vital process wasn't always clear. It was a groundbreaking discovery made by none other than the brilliant scientist Louis Pasteur in 1857.
Louis Pasteur, wow.
Think about that the next time you encounter a solution made from sugar and yeast. Perhaps in a science experiment, that distinct aroma, that unique yeasty scent,
Yeah.
that is alcohol actively being formed, all thanks to these tireless microscopic organisms working their biochemical magic.
Incredible. Okay, now let's shift our focus to something incredibly important for our health and global well-being. Medicine.
Hugely important.
When you're sick and your doctor prescribes an antibiotic, you are, quite literally, benefiting directly from the ingenious work of microorganisms. It's a bit of a mind bender, isn't it? Using microbes to fight microbes.
It truly is a marvel of biology. Antibiotics are incredibly powerful and specific medicines that work by either killing or significantly stopping the growth of disease-causing microorganisms within your body.
Stopping them cold.
What's truly remarkable and perhaps counterintuitive is that these life-saving compounds are themselves produced naturally from specific types of bacteria and fungi.
Made by bacteria and fungi.
Exactly. Our source mentions common and immensely important examples that you might recognize, like streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin.
Heard of those?
It's truly astonishing that one type of microbe has evolved the ability to produce substances that are so effective at combating harmful ones, essentially turning them into critical allies in our ongoing fight against bacterial diseases.
Nature's little chemists. And the story of penicillin, arguably one of the most famous and impactful antibiotics ever discovered, is a fantastic example of accidental discovery, right? A classic case of scientific serendipity.
Indeed, it's a foundational story in modern medicine. In 1929, the Scottish bacteriologist Alexander Fleming was meticulously working with disease-causing bacteria in his laboratory.
Okay.
He was culturing them on petri dishes when he made an unexpected and highly observant discovery. He noticed a small, fuzzy, green mold, which was later identified as Penicillium notatum.
The moles from earlier.
The very same family, growing as a contaminant on one of his culture plates. What was truly remarkable and what caught his keen scientific eye was that this mold prevented the growth of the bacteria right around it, creating a clear zone.
Like a force field?
Kind of, and in fact, it appeared to kill many of them. From this chance, accidental observation, the active compound, penicillin, was isolated and prepared.
Wow. Just from noticing that.
Just from noticing. Its discovery fundamentally revolutionized medicine, ushering in the age of antibiotics and saving countless millions of lives from infections that were once deadly. It powerfully underscores how sometimes the greatest scientific breakthroughs come from unexpected places and from keen observation.
Amazing story. Another medical marvel directly linked to microbes, and one that has profoundly shaped global public health, is vaccination.
Ah, yes, vaccines. So important.
We often hear about vaccination programs for children and infants. Why are these programs so incredibly crucial?
This raises an important question about how our bodies naturally defend themselves and how we can enhance that defense. When a disease-carrying microbe, what we call a pathogen, enters our body, our immune system doesn't just passively accept it. It responds actively by producing specific protective proteins called antibodies.
Antibodies, like little soldiers.
Exactly. These antibodies are tailor-made to fight that particular invader. The truly remarkable thing is that after this initial encounter, the body then remembers how to fight that specific microbe if it ever encounters it again in the future.
It remembers.
It has memory. Vaccines work by leveraging this natural memory. They introduce dead or weakened forms of microbes into a healthy body.
Dead or weak ones, so they can't make you really sick.
Precisely. This exposure is enough to prompt your immune system to produce those protective antibodies, but without actually causing the full-blown illness. Those antibodies remain in your system, primed and ready to act, thereby protecting us from serious diseases like cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis.
So it's like a training exercise for your immune system.
That's a great way to put it. It's a brilliant way of teaching our immune system to protect us without the significant risk and suffering of a real infection.
It's precisely this mechanism that has been a huge reason why so many serious diseases have either been completely eradicated globally or brought under significant control. Think about the global efforts like the Pulse Polio program.
Huge success.
Or the incredible historical eradication of smallpox, a disease that once ravaged populations worldwide.
Exactly right. The very first smallpox vaccine was famously discovered by Edward Jenner way back in 1798.
1798.
A truly groundbreaking moment that marked the dawn of modern immunology and public health. Today, vaccines are produced on an absolutely massive scale, often using microorganisms themselves or their components, specifically designed to protect both humans and animals from a vast array of infectious diseases.
Protecting pets, too.
Absolutely. These widespread vaccination efforts are a profound testament to how effectively we can harness the power of microbes or their components for our collective well-being, leading to global health improvements and the control of diseases that once devastated entire populations and drastically drastically shortened lifespans. It's a continuous collaborative effort between science and nature.
Truly life-changing stuff.
Yep.
So microbes aren't just for our bodies and our food. They're also fundamental to the health and vitality of our planet itself, specifically our soil and, by extension, the plants that grow in it.
Yes, they're environmental engineers.
Environmental engineers. I like that.
What's truly fascinating here is their indispensable role in maintaining soil fertility, particularly concerning nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Okay, N in chemistry.
That's the one. Nitrogen is an absolutely essential constituent of all living organisms on Earth. It's a fundamental building block found in critical biological molecules like our proteins, the chlorophyll that plants use for photosynthesis, our very own nucleic acids like DNA and RNA, and various essential vitamins.
We need it for everything, basically.
Pretty much. However, atmospheric nitrogen, which makes up a staggering 78% of the air we breathe, is largely unusable by most plants or animals in its gaseous form. It's abundant but inert, like it's locked up.
Locked up, yeah.
This is precisely where certain specialized bacteria, like the nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green algae, and particularly the bacteria Rhizobium,
Rhizobium. Sounds familiar.
come in as vital intermediaries. They possess this incredible, unique ability to take that otherwise unusable nitrogen directly from the vast atmosphere and convert it into compounds that plants can actually absorb and utilize through their roots.
They unlock it.
They unlock it. These microbes are so crucial that our source quite rightly calls them biological nitrogen fixers. They significantly increase soil fertility, which is absolutely crucial for healthy plant growth and, by extension, for all agriculture that feeds us.
So better soil, more food.
Exactly. Without them, the intricate cycle of life on Earth wouldn't function anywhere near as efficiently, and our food systems would collapse.
Wow. Okay, and finally, let's talk about one of their most unsung heroic roles, one that keeps our world from being buried in waste, cleaning up the environment.
The decomposers.
They're nature's ultimate sanitation crew.
They absolutely are. Microorganisms are truly nature's ultimate recyclers and decomposers. They efficiently break down all sorts of complex organic waste. Think of vegetable peels from your kitchen, the remains of dead animals in the wild, fallen leaves, and even animal feces.
Ew, but necessary.
Totally necessary, transforming them into simpler, harmless, and critically usable substances. These simpler compounds, like nitrates or phosphates, are then released back into the soil and air, becoming nutrients available for new life to grow.
So they recycle everything.
Everything organic. Without these tireless microbial decomposers, our planet would quite literally be buried under organic waste, and the essential nutrients locked within that waste would never be returned to the ecosystem.
We'd be swimming in garbage.
Pretty much. This decomposition process is not just about waste removal. It's vital for continuously recycling essential nutrients back into the ecosystem, maintaining a healthy, balanced, and productive planet. It's an elegant, continuous loop of life and decomposition.
Incredible balance. Okay, while we've just celebrated their friendly side and acknowledged their incredible contributions, it's also undeniably true that some microorganisms are quite harmful.
The flip side of the coin.
Our source refers to these as pathogens. What exactly are they, and how do they differ from the beneficial microbes we just discussed?
That's a crucial distinction. Pathogens are, by definition, disease-causing microorganisms.
The bad guys.
They are the ones responsible for infections and illnesses in humans, in various animals, and even in plants, sometimes with devastating consequences. But their harmful impact extends beyond just illness. Some microbes also cause significant economic damage by spoiling our food, deteriorating our clothing, and even degrading materials like leather.
Spoiling food, ruining clothes.
Okay. This leads to considerable waste and poses serious problems for food security and material preservation. So, while a vast number of microbes are beneficial and essential, we must also be acutely aware of the potential for certain types to cause significant harm.
Right. Let's focus on humans first. How exactly do these pathogens manage to get into our bodies? And once they're in, what kind of trouble do they cause? How do these infections actually spread from person to person?
They can enter our bodies through the most common and often overlooked pathways: the very air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat.
Air, water, food, the basics.
This is why basic hygiene is so fundamental. They can also spread through direct physical contact with an infected person, or, quite surprisingly, be carried by animals or insects without those carriers themselves getting sick.
Hitching a ride.
Exactly. Diseases that spread from an infected person to a healthy person through any of these direct or indirect means are specifically called communicable diseases.
Communicable, meaning they spread.
Yep. This highlights an important question. If they spread so easily, how do we effectively prevent this transmission and protect ourselves and our communities?
Good question. Our source lists a number of these common communicable diseases that many people have encountered or know about. The common cold, influenza or the flu, chickenpox, tuberculosis, TB, cholera, typhoid, dysentery, malaria, and hepatitis A.
A nasty list.
So knowing how they spread, what are the most effective strategies for protecting ourselves from them?
Okay, let's break it down. For airborne diseases like the common cold or influenza, where an infected person sneezes or coughs, they release fine moisture droplets carrying thousands of viruses into the air. Ugh, virus clouds.
Pretty much. These droplets can then be inhaled by others. To protect ourselves, it's absolutely crucial to cover your nose and mouth when you sneeze or cough using a tissue or your elbow.
Cover your cough.
And, if possible, maintain a respectful distance from infected persons. For water and foodborne diseases, such as cholera and typhoid, which are often spread through contaminated water or food.
Dirty water or food.
Right. Maintaining excellent personal hygiene, practicing good sanitary habits, and crucially, consuming properly cooked food and boiled or purified drinking water are absolutely key preventive measures.
Wash your hands, cook your food, drink clean water. Makes sense.
And as we discussed earlier, vaccination is also a major proactive preventive measure against many of these diseases, systematically building your body's specific immunity long before you encounter the pathogen.
Right, the training exercise. It's not always direct contact with an infected person that spreads disease, though. Our source points out that some insects and animals act as unwitting carriers of these disease-causing microbes without ever getting sick themselves. The sneaky spreaders.
We're the main culprits mentioned in our source that we should be particularly aware of.
You're right, these carriers are a major public health concern. The common housefly is a notoriously effective carrier.
Flies. Always buzzing around food.
Exactly. They frequently land on garbage, animal waste, and sewage, picking up countless pathogens on their hairy bodies. Then, when they land on uncovered food in our kitchens or at restaurants, they transfer these dangerous microbes directly onto what we're about to eat.
That's disgusting.
It really is. That's why it's so incredibly important to always keep food covered. Beyond flies, mosquitoes are another significant group of carriers, but with a twist.
Mosquitoes too. Ooh.
Specifically, the female Anopheles mosquito carries the parasite that causes malaria, a devastating disease, and the female Aedes mosquito is a carrier for the dengue virus.
Different mosquitoes, different diseases.
Correct, because mosquitoes breed in stagnant water, controlling their breeding by not allowing water to collect in and around our homes in old tires, flower pots, or discarded containers is absolutely vital for preventing the spread of these serious mosquito-borne diseases.
Don't let water sit around. Got it.
And just a quick historical note here, one that solidified our understanding of specific disease causes. Robert Koch, a brilliant German physician.
Another famous scientist.
Yes. He made a profoundly significant discovery in 1876. He famously identified the bacterium, Bacillus anthracis, as the specific cause of anthrax, a dangerous and often fatal disease affecting both humans and cattle.
Anthrax. Scary stuff.
It was a critical step in establishing the germ theory of disease, showing that specific microbes cause specific diseases, which was revolutionary for medicine.
Germ theory. Right. It's not just us humans who suffer from microbial attacks. Microbes also cause significant and often devastating diseases in other animals and plants, impacting ecosystems and our food supply.
That's absolutely true. Beyond anthrax in humans and cattle, viruses are, for instance, responsible for foot and mouth disease in cattle, which can be economically devastating for livestock farmers.
Bad for cows, bad for farmers.
For plants, the impact is equally severe. Diseases like citrus canker, caused by bacteria, can significantly damage fruit crops like oranges and lemons.
Ruined oranges.
Rust of wheat, caused by fungi, can severely reduce grain yields, impacting our staple food supply. And yellow vein mosaic of bindi, or okra, caused by a virus and spread by insects, is another example that can decimate vegetable harvests.
Even okra gets sick.
All these plant diseases are critically significant because they can drastically reduce crop yield, directly impacting global food security and farmer livelihoods. Fortunately, some of these, particularly bacterial and fungal diseases, can be controlled with specific chemical treatments that target and kill the harmful microbes, offering a way to protect our agricultural output and ensure food availability.
So we can fight back sometimes. Now, here's a relatable and unfortunately common scenario. One our source highlights to emphasize a crucial danger. Poor Bujo eats a variety of food at a party, later starts vomiting violently, and ends up hospitalized with food poisoning.
Oh dear, food poisoning is awful.
This is something many of us have experienced or know someone who has. How does perfectly good food actually become poison? What's the science behind that transformation?
That's an excellent and very important question. Food doesn't spontaneously become poisonous on its own. It's a serious and potentially life-threatening issue caused when certain harmful microorganisms, typically bacteria like Salmonella or Clostridium botulinum,
Yes, you name.
grow and multiply on our food. As these microbes thrive and metabolize the food, they produce toxic substances as byproducts of their growth.
Toxins, not the microbes themselves.
It's the toxins they make. It's these microbial toxins, not the microbes themselves directly, that make the food poisonous. Consuming food contaminated with these toxins leads to severe illness, characterized by symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain, and in some tragic cases, it can even lead to death.
Wow, it could be that serious.
Absolutely. This scenario powerfully underscores just how critical proper food preservation is, as it's directly about preventing these dangerous microbial growths and the production of their harmful toxins.
Okay, so prevention is key. Given the very real dangers of food spoilage and food poisoning, how do we effectively keep our food safe for consumption? Our ancestors figured out many ingenious ways long before modern science.
They had to.
And thankfully, modern science has added even more sophisticated techniques.
You're right. The need to preserve food is as old as civilization itself. The universal goal of all food preservation methods is always the same: to either completely prevent or significantly inhibit the growth and activity of those spoilage-causing microorganisms.
Stop them or slow them way down.
Exactly. We'll explore several common and highly effective methods, ranging from simple, time-tested household tricks passed down through generations to advanced industrial-scale processes that ensure food safety globally.
Okay, let's hear them. What are some of the most basic traditional methods that have been used for ages, long before refrigeration or chemical additives?
Well, common salt and edible oils are incredibly widely used as natural preservatives, and they have been for millennia because they are remarkably effective.
Salt and oil. Simple.
They work by directly checking or inhibiting the growth of microorganisms. For example, adding large amounts of common salt to meat, fish, traditional Indian pickles like amla, raw mangoes, or tamarind works on the principle of osmosis.
Osmosis. Drawing water out.
Precisely. The salt draws out moisture from the food, creating a high-salt, low-water environment. Most bacteria simply cannot thrive or multiply in such desiccated conditions.
Too dry for them.
Similarly, using a generous amount of oil and vinegar, especially in pickles, creates an acidic and oily barrier that prevents spoilage, because most bacteria simply can't survive in such an acidic or extremely oily environment. It's a simple yet powerful microbial deterrent.
Pickles last forever.
Pretty much. Beyond these age-old natural methods, modern food industries also widely utilize commercial chemical preservatives. Our source mentions common ones like sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite.
Those long names on ingredient lists.
Often, yes. These chemicals are highly effective at inhibiting microbial growth and are commonly used in commercial products such as jams, jellies, and squashes to significantly extend their shelf life, making them safe for transport and storage over longer periods.
Okay, so chemicals help too. That makes sense for salt and oil, but what about sugar? How does something so sweet, like in jams or jellies, actually help preserve food? It seems counterintuitive.
It's a great question, and sugar works on a similar principle to salt. It primarily reduces the moisture content, or what we call water activity, in food items.
Water activity, like how much water is available.
Exactly. When you add a high concentration of sugar, it creates an environment where the available water in the food is bound up by the sugar molecules. This lower water activity significantly inhibits the growth of bacteria, yeasts, and molds that cause spoilage.
So the sugar hogs all the water.
Kind of. When the environment is too dry, microbes struggle to find the water they need to live, carry out their metabolic processes, and reproduce. That's why jams, jellies, and squashes, which are packed with high amounts of sugar, can be preserved for extended periods without refrigeration.
Right, jam doesn't need the fridge before opening.
As the high sugar content acts as a very effective, natural antimicrobial agent.
Clever. Okay, we all do this instinctively in our homes, boiling milk before storing it, or immediately putting leftovers into the fridge. How do these incredibly common, everyday practices prevent microbial growth? What's happening at the microscopic level?
What's truly fascinating here is how temperature control directly impacts microbial life and its ability to spoil food. When you boil milk, for instance, the high temperature effectively kills many of the microorganisms that could cause it to spoil, making it safe to store and consume for a period.
Heat kills them.
It's a quick, high heat shock. Conversely, low temperatures, like those found in a refrigerator, don't necessarily kill microbes. Instead, they significantly inhibit the growth of most microbes.
Cold just slows them down.
Right. They dramatically slow down their metabolic processes, reproduction rates, and enzymatic activity, so much so that they struggle to multiply and spoil the food rapidly. It's all about creating conditions where these organisms struggle to survive or thrive, buying us valuable time before spoilage sets in.
Hot kills, cold slows. Simple but effective. And then there's pasteurization, a name synonymous with milk safety,
Pasteur again.
which is why the milk in packets doesn't spoil as quickly as fresh milk from a cow. What's the precise science behind that revolutionary process?
Pasteurization, a brilliant and transformative process discovered by Louis Pasteur, revolutionized dairy safety and greatly improved public health. It involves a very specific, controlled heating and cooling cycle.
Heat and cool.
Yes. Milk is heated to a relatively high temperature, about 70 degrees Celsius, but only for a very short duration, typically just 15 to 30 seconds.
A quick blast of heat.
Crucially, immediately after this brief heating, it's rapidly chilled and then stored. This rapid heating and cooling cycle is incredibly effective at killing the harmful microbes present in the milk that could cause illness or spoilage, all without significantly altering the milk's nutritional quality or its delicious taste.
So it tastes okay and lasts longer.
Exactly. By performing this process, the milk can be consumed without immediate boiling, giving it a much longer shelf life than unpasteurized milk, making it safer and more accessible to a wider population.
Makes sense. Beyond temperature control, how does modern packaging play a crucial role in keeping our food safe and fresh for longer?
Modern packaging adds another incredibly crucial layer of protection, acting as a physical barrier.
Like armor for food.
Basically, yeah. These days, things like dry fruits, nuts, and even many types of vegetables are sold in sealed, airtight packets. This sophisticated packaging prevents external microbes, as well as moisture and oxygen, which can also promote spoilage and oxidation, from even reaching the food in the first place.
Keep the outside out.
It offers a robust, impenetrable barrier against contamination and spoilage. For large-scale storage of staple grains like wheat or rice, farmers and food companies utilize specialized structures like silos and massive granaries.
Huge containers.
These are often designed to be cool, dry, and sometimes combined with specific chemical treatments or controlled atmospheres to protect against both pests and microorganisms, ensuring the longevity and safety of their vast harvests for global consumption.
Protecting food on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And speaking of traditional methods, our source mentions dried neem leaves. Why would someone traditionally put those in the drum of stored wheat or grains at home?
Ah, neem. That's a fantastic example of traditional ecological knowledge meeting the challenge of preservation, which is still very relevant.
Old wisdom.
Exactly. Dried neem leaves have natural insecticidal and pest repellent properties. When placed strategically in a drum of wheat or other stored food grains at home, they release compounds that act as a deterrent to common storage pests like weevils and other insects, and can also inhibit the growth of some molds.
So they keep bugs and mold away. Naturally.
Yep. This provides a simple, traditional, and remarkably effective way to protect the food from spoilage and infestation without relying on synthetic chemicals. It's an elegant, natural solution to a common and persistent problem passed down through generations.
Very cool. Okay, we mentioned earlier how some microbes are incredible engineers, helping to increase soil fertility. Let's delve a bit deeper into that, specifically focusing on the vital element of nitrogen.
Back to nitrogen.
It's everywhere,
Yeah.
but not always usable, right? That locked up gas.
Precisely. Nitrogen is an absolutely essential constituent of all living organisms. It's a fundamental building block found in critical biological molecules like all our proteins, chlorophyll for photosynthesis, DNA, RNA, vitamins.
Everything important.
Pretty much. However, despite making up a staggering 78% of our atmosphere, atmospheric nitrogen, N2 gas, is in an inert form that cannot be directly used by most plants or animals. It's abundant but locked away. This is precisely where certain specialized bacteria, like Rhizobium,
Rhizobium again, the nitrogen fixer.
come in as vital intermediaries, acting as nature's own nitrogen factories. What's truly fascinating here is the symbiotic relationship Rhizobium forms. These bacteria don't just float freely, they live in a very special, mutually beneficial partnership within swollen structures called root nodules.
Lumps on the roots.
Exactly, which grow on the roots of leguminous plants like beans, peas, and lentils. This is a classic example of mutualism where both organisms benefit significantly.
They help each other out.
Totally. The rhizobium bacteria receive a protected environment and nutrients from the plant, and in return, they perform a miraculous feat. They take that otherwise unusable nitrogen gas from the atmosphere and convert it into usable nitrogenous compounds like ammonia or nitrates
Unlocking it for the plant.
that the plants can then readily absorb through their roots and incorporate into their tissues. This entire biochemical process is called nitrogen fixation, and it is an absolute cornerstone of natural ecosystem health and sustainable agricultural productivity, enriching the soil naturally.
So leguminous plants make the soil better because of these bacteria.
That's exactly right. Farmers have known this for centuries, even rotating crops.
Wow. Okay, so if nitrogen is constantly being fixed from the atmosphere into the soil by these amazing microbes, and then plants absorb it, and animals eat those plants, it sounds like the amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere should be steadily decreasing over time.
Good point.
How does the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere manage to remain constant? It feels like there's a missing piece in that grand cycle.
That's a brilliant observation, and it brings us to the breathtaking elegance of the nitrogen cycle.
The nitrogen cycle, okay.
It is indeed a grand, continuous, and perfectly balanced recycling process that ensures this critical element remains stable in our atmosphere. You're right, nitrogen is fixed from the atmosphere into the soil, but the cycle doesn't end there.
What happens next?
When plants and animals die, or when animals excrete waste, other specialized bacteria and fungi in the soil, or decomposers, step in. They convert those complex nitrogenous wastes and dead organic matter back into simpler nitrogenous compounds in the soil.
Breaking it down again.
But here's the crucial final step. Then certain other types of bacteria, specifically denitrifying bacteria.
Denitrifying, the opposite of fixing.
Exactly. They take some of these nitrogenous compounds and convert them back into nitrogen gas, releasing it directly back into the atmosphere.
So it goes back up.
It goes back up. It's a perfect, intricate natural system, a continuous loop of transformation that ensures the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains remarkably stable, never depleting, never accumulating excessively.
Wow, a perfect loop.
It's a prime and powerful example of the complex, vital, and self-regulating balance that microorganisms meticulously maintain in our precious ecosystem. Without them, our planet's atmospheric composition, and thus life as we know it, would be fundamentally different.
Incredible. Wow, what an incredible journey we've taken through the microscopic world, from the tiniest specks that cause bread to rise to the unseen workers breaking down waste and building up soil, from making life-saving medicines that have revolutionized healthcare to causing frustrating illnesses and spoiling our food plans. Microorganisms truly are both our invisible friends and our powerful foes.
Friend and foe.
It's absolutely incredible to think that something so small can have such a massive, multifaceted impact on our entire world and indeed on our daily lives.
They absolutely demonstrate in the most profound way that even the smallest living things can wield the biggest impacts, influencing everything from global climate to our individual health.
Tiny but mighty.
Understanding them and acknowledging their duality helps us appreciate the astonishing complexity and interconnectedness of life itself. And perhaps more practically, it equips us to better interact with our environment, whether it's by actively preventing disease through hygiene and vaccination, or by intelligently harnessing their beneficial properties in agriculture, industry, and even for cleaning up pollution.
Knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. It's all about learning to work intelligently with or protect ourselves smartly from these tiny yet immensely powerful organisms.
So the next time you see a patch of mold starting on old bread, or hear about a new vaccine being developed that promises to protect us, or even just consider the richness and vitality of the soil beneath your feet in your garden, take a moment to truly ponder the incredible unseen world of microbes.
Pause and think.
They're literally everywhere, silently shaping our existence. What other untold secrets do you think these tiny, tenacious organisms hold that could potentially transform our world, our health, or our understanding of life itself in the future?
Great question to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Chapter 2, Microorganisms. We hope this exploration has illuminated some of the incredible hidden aspects of our world.
We certainly hope you gained a ton of knowledge and perhaps a new and profound appreciation for these tiny powerhouses. This has been Adam, your grade 8 science teachers from School on X, signing off.